Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. So, March 13th, 2020, we were told to work that day from home to stress test the servers, make sure they could handle the load in case that, a lockdown happened because of the pandemic. The very next day, the 14th, as I was moving my daughter out of her dorm room because they were shutting the college down because of COVID, I received a text message from my department head that we would be working from home from that point forward. And since then, March 13th, 2020, I've been working from home. Even when, the official go back to work kind of came down, government canceled the lockdown restrictions and stuff. Um, I've been working from home. Our department head said, look, as long as the work's getting done, as long as you guys don't mind, if you guys want to work from home, they're not going to make us go back in the office. Might as well work from home. So I did. Until about a month and a half ago. Not sure the exact date. I think it was like the second week of November. So we were told we had to go back in the office. Now, I'm currently, our department head at least got us listed as hybrid model, which means you have to be, you can work from home some of the time, but you've got to be in the office at least 2 days a week. So I've got to go in 2 days a week, which may not seem like much. But the reason stated for us having to go back in the office is they feel it's necessary to promote a sense of community and teamwork. And I don't believe that for a second. The week of that we were told to work from home, my company had just built a new addition. They built a brand new building, addition to our existing structure. They built a brand new office building, 3 stories high with all kinds of conference rooms and stuff. We had just gotten the company had just gotten the occupation permits from the city that week. I mean, no one was using it yet, but we had just gotten the occupancy permits, and the lockdown happens. The brand new building has been almost completely unused for almost 5 years now, despite it being completed back in, February of 2020. Building's been, that whole new section's been mostly empty. The whole building's been mostly empty except for manufacturing and R&D and engineering. Everyone else has been working from home or working hybrid. And I mean, it makes a couple of things too, is like, for my job, the job that I do, I don't really talk to anyone within the company. I work with the transportation department. I deal most with the trucking companies. My particular specialty is dealing with the invoicing. So, I mean, I do talk with accounts payable, but, from where we would sit, they're 1,000 feet away. I'm not going to walk down and talk to accounting. It's all email. But 90% of my communication is outside the company. I'm talking to trucking companies, freight audit, our freight audit partners, those type of things. I provide reports to people on the freight data. I make sure the invoices are coded correctly. I approve the invoices, but it's all, the approvals it's all electronic. It's not with people involved. My job could be completely remote. I have no need to be in the office whatsoever. When I go in the office, my entire fostering of community thing is basically just saying, hey, I'm going to the cafeteria to get some tea. You guys want anything? You guys want to come with me? You guys want anything? The extent of my collaboration with my coworkers is basically just idle chit chat. There really is no need to discuss anything business related with my team. The other thing too is that because of COVID, a lot of people have moved. We had one guy who he and his wife bought a house in New Hampshire. Another guy, his wife got an opportunity to work in Florida. They moved there. So, of our entire department, only three of us are going to actually go in the office because only three of us live close enough that we need to go in. Everyone else is far enough away they can just stay home. It's just like it's just useless for us. It really makes no sense for us to do this. It's just a waste of our time. It really is. But a couple things. The interesting thing is, while I don't believe their statement that it's necessary to promote a sense of community and teamwork, I agree with that assessment. And it's funny that I'm the hugest introvert on our team. And I brought this up a couple of years ago because like we had hired new people and none of them had ever even been in the building. They've been hired remotely. They worked remotely. Everything was in Zoom calls and stuff. And I pointed out the fact that before the lockdown happened, I had worked at that physical building for 18 years. I worked for 10 years in the warehouse. I knew people in the warehouse. I knew shipping, receiving, material handling, inventory control, quality control. I knew some people on the manufacturing floor, service and logistics, planning, procurement, sales, just from the fact of being in the warehouse and doing shipping, and in the current position, I know people in accounting. A couple of guys I worked with the warehouse went to the IT team, so I know people in IT. I know people, are, through other, contacts and stuff. Through IDEX Geeks, I met people at R&D and engineering. I've been there a long time and I've made contacts and I know people throughout the company. And these new people, they had none of that. They had, I had a sense of community with the company that these people didn't because they'd just never been there. They had no opportunity to generate this sense of community that the rest of the team shared. So it's kind of funny that even as the giant introvert, I recognized the importance of face-to-face communications and face-to-face, just being in the same room, just having that idle chit chat. I may not, just to sit across from a table with someone, even if it's a business meeting. I met with people in planning, to coordinate shipments to Europe on a weekly basis for a few years, to get things running and to get things going smoothly until they didn't, need me involved anymore. They had everything ran. But, I had a weekly meeting with the Netherlands team, which was on a phone, but also the local, planning group as well, who was sitting face to face. I had all this experience just with people that these people never got and never had the opportunity to have. And all enough that they won't have because one of the people has moved on to another department and the other one was the guy who currently lives in Florida. So neither of them will foster a sense of community because they're not going to be in the office. But in spite of the fact that, I'm comfortable not interacting with people, I recognize its value. So tomorrow I got to go in the office. Well, by the time this is actually up online, it will actually have been in the past. But as of this recording, I got to go in the office tomorrow, starting tomorrow. I'm trying to look at the positives. And there are some. I have to admit, my mental health has not been good for a while. And I think some of it is the isolation. The isolation itself doesn't bother me, but I have nothing to distract me from the noise in my head, is the best way to put it. You wind up having, thoughts about things, and there's nothing to impact those thoughts because there's, if I have a negative thought about myself, there's nothing to change that. There's nothing external that can alter that. And those thoughts just kind of build up and fester. So I think perhaps going in might be good for my mental health. Um, I don't know if it will or not, but that's a positive maybe. The other thing too is I might lose weight. um, Not necessarily because I snack too much. You might not realize it from this Buddha figure here, but um, I'm pretty good at not snacking in the house, and or even in the office. There is a cafeteria in the building, but I mean, I learned long ago that it's much cheaper to make myself a sandwich at home and bring it to work with me than to buy lunch in the cafeteria. I can make myself lunch for 2 weeks on what it would cost me to buy lunch for 3 days in the cafeteria. So, you know, I'm too frugal for that. But if I want to get myself a cup of tea in the morning, I literally get up from my chair and take 10 steps to the kitchen. you know, as opposed to if I get tea at IDEX, where I work, I've got to walk to the cafeteria, which is like 800 steps away. And if I do that 3 times a day, I've walked more than a mile. So, being in the office, I will probably lose a couple pounds. If just because I've got to walk more than 10 paces to get anywhere. And in spite of the fact that it will be good for me, I still don't want to do it. It's just so inconvenient. Like I said, my communications will be, hey, I'm going to the cafeteria. Anyone to come with? I will have some meetings. We have regular meetings on specific days. I will be in the office on some of those days. There are going to be a couple people there. I know that my manager, my department head are going to make attempts to be in there on a regular basis. I think my manager's going to try and come up once a month from Boston, and our department head will probably be coming up once a week, just for meetings and stuff, just for face-to-face meetings. But we'll at least be able to say hi to her. But the rest of the team, yeah, it's just the 3 of us. And we're probably only going to be in the office one day together. So yeah, I'm going to be in the office one day by myself a week. Guaranteed. I'm only going to be, so that one day is going to be, the second day is going to be pretty much a waste of my time because I'll be in the office by myself. But, I could maybe meet with some of the people and have lunch with them so it's maybe not a complete waste of time. Who the hell knows? But I mean, yeah, it's an extra hour, getting up, driving to work, having to do stuff, having to make my lunch before I go in. It's an extra hour out of my day. It really is. And it's going to be a pain in the butt. But I'm hoping some benefit will come out of it. I'm trying to look on the bright side. Doing the best I can. Till next time, good hunting.